Great power and grace live inside you.
I know what you're thinking. What is this guy talking about? I'm stuck, frustrated, and unhappy, maybe sick, lonely, and just making ends meet. We understand. We were there too.
Yeah, but we found a way out that unites intuition with ancient wisdom and the latest cutting-edge psychology, epigenetics, and medicine. It's the power of the mind guided by the heart.
And we can show you how you can find a way out too, so you can connect with your powerful, authentic self. I'm Satomi Knudsen.
And I'm Dr. Paul Marples.
Here's the thing. We are all born with this power, but without knowing, we have used this power against ourselves.
Life is meant to be enjoyed. I mean, if you just look at this picture, this just sums it up perfectly for me. This is how we are when we're young, just naturally, just living our lives as our authentic selves. It's beautiful. And what if life stayed that way, right? What does the law of attraction tell us? What would happen? Well, we would create beautiful relationships with the people around us because we're just being our authentic selves. That would translate into a life of prosperity and of amazing health. You know, it's just a beautiful life. But we all know the story goes a little bit differently, right? We start out as our authentic selves, and then all the influences of the people around us and, you know, the TV, internet, everything, magazines, whatever it is that we're looking at, society influences us, and we're like sponges. We absorb everything, all these different beliefs and perspectives on how to see the world. And with people with generally good intentions in many cases are teaching us that, you know, life is great, yeah, but, right, you got to be safe and protect yourself. And so what happens is we lose connection to our authentic selves. And what does the law of attraction say about this? Well, if we're not connected to our authentic selves, then we don't express ourselves in a functional way. We don't create functional relationships with the people around us. That does not lead to prosperity, and it can lead to ill health. It attracts the things that we don't want. And if we look at this just a little bit different way, we grow up and we learn very quickly that it's very important to fit in and to conform, right? So we believe the things that come at us from around us. And, you know, maybe sometimes we'll have some symptoms. We'll go to the doctor. He looks like he knows what he's talking about. He tells us that we're sick, and we believe it, right? And we might hear from the family that, you know, money is scarce, and we believe that money is a scarce thing, that it's not in abundance. And also that we might try different things in our lives and might not succeed, and we might stop believing in ourselves and really run ourselves down. And then, you know, even worse, we can believe that change is really hard and that things are just meant to be like this and that it's normal. It's not normal. It's just common. So we talked about this influence from the people around us and the world around us. We absorb all that stuff and they become beliefs. They become subconscious beliefs, subconscious programs. And so what do we mean by the subconscious mind? Well, we think of our mind and what we're aware of as us. That's our conscious mind. All the problems that we solve, all the ideas that we have, the willpower, that's our conscious selves. And we get ideas and we want to go somewhere. We have goals for our lives, right? And we try to get there, but we fight and we can't get to where we want to go. What's going on? In behind the scenes, it's those subconscious programs that are hiding. And if they're not on board with going in the direction that we want to go, we can't get there because the subconscious mind is so powerful. It's actually 95% of everything that's going on inside your mind. And so you're really fighting a lopsided battle to try to get anywhere. So what does the subconscious mind do? Well, it does an amazing amount, actually. We'll just take one small example. The way we look at the world. How do you see the world? When you see a picture of a dog, they're beautiful animals, right? All they do is just love us. Well, unfortunately, some people, they get attacked by a dog, and what happens if that happens to you, right? Well, you're traumatized. And then, you know, a week later you go to the park and you see these big dogs rushing towards you. What are you going to do, right? Did you even notice that they were just chasing the ball on the field and they weren't even interested in you? It's all about perception. You know, you can see the dog as a beautiful animal or as a threat. And that's what can happen throughout our lives. So let's step back here and take a look at the big picture of what the subconscious mind does. Let's start with genes. What they do is they create proteins. Our whole body's made up of proteins, all different kinds. And they run all the functions in our body, making sure everything's going the way it should, including hormones. And I'm not talking about teenager hormones here, but they follow us our whole lives, and they control so much of what's going on and just regulating our body, right? And so those proteins collect together, and they make cells, tissues, organs, all the way up to our whole body. And our whole body, it's very interesting actually, our whole body can actually only be in one of two states. Either we're in healing and growth mode, where we're building our body back up, or we're in protection mode. Like if we're trying to run out of the way of a bus in the crosswalk, when we're jumping out of the way of that bus, we're not focused on growth and healing. Our body can't do both at the same time. And that's very important because that affects the way that we feel. And that's a big part of our lives, right? The way we're feeling at this moment, that moment, all the way through. That affects the decisions that we make, the actions that we take. The actions are affecting the world around us. And that, again, feeds back into the way we see the world. But look at this one special thing here in the center here. Under very special conditions, the decisions that you make can actually become beliefs. And those beliefs are central to everything that's going on in this picture. Those beliefs are controlling how you respond to dogs, how you see them. You see one and everything's good and you're happy and you get, a good feeling. Or you're afraid and your fight or flight gets triggered. And that changes the way you feel, and it changes the hormones that are released in your body, the adrenaline, all the way down there, right? And there's something else very important. Up in the top left, you see that little arrow, that little red arrow. Well, here's the amazing thing, is you don't hear about this so much, but there's recent science, a whole field of biology called epigenetics has opened up for the last couple of decades, the study of how actually it's not really as important which genes you're born with as it is important which genes are turned on or off and what causes that. And the thing is that if you follow those arrows from your beliefs all the way down through the picture, all the way down to your proteins and those hormones, they turn those genes on and off. So it's the beliefs that are controlling everything, and those beliefs are actually subconscious. So you look at the bottom of the picture, that's everything that's going on in your daily life, right? Everything that's going on in your mind, the way you feel, everything, right? And then the top of the picture, in that group, that's everything that's going on inside your body. And if you take that whole picture together, that's actually your whole life. That's everything. Your mind, your feelings, your body, everything that's going on, that's your whole life. So that's how your beliefs are controlling every aspect of your life, even your genes. So the essential question then is, how do we go from this, where your subconscious mind is holding you back like a ball and chain, preventing you from getting where you want to go, and you turn that ball and chain into an airplane that takes you exactly where you want to go, right? That's the central question. Let's talk about the 3 essentials of change. I think you'd agree that if you ever want to solve any kind of problem, the very first thing you need to do is correctly diagnose what the problem is. You need to figure out what is the source of the problem. And the second thing you need to be able to do is to be able to effectively change the situation in some way. And the third essential element for creating change is making that change an everyday reality. So let's just talk about an example. If you're chopping vegetables in your kitchen, and for the second time in a month, you nick your finger, right? And then you're going to look for spices in the back of the cupboard, and it's like, you can't find them. So what's the problem? And you realize, I need more light in my kitchen. Correct diagnosis. That's step 1. Step 2, you call in the electrician. He comes, he puts in more lighting for you, a new switch on the wall, and then he drives away. And then what do? Well, you have to make it an everyday reality, a new habit that every time you walk into the kitchen, you throw the light switch, right? You also have to change the light bulb. You have to pay the electricity bill, throw the fuse once in a while. There's things you need to do to make that change of getting more lighting in the kitchen a reality that you can live in by creating a new habit. Otherwise, you'd be standing in a dark kitchen, right? So let's talk about the Sakaso Healing and Transformation System and how it uses those 3 essentials of change to help you achieve the goals that you want to achieve, create the change that you want in your life. So in step 1, we use a diagnostic reading. We've already talked about how the root of the problem that's holding you back is actually subconscious beliefs. Some kind of belief that we're probably not even aware of. So in step 1, we want to pay close attention to correct diagnosis. So how do we do that? We have to find out something that's unknown in your subconscious mind. Well, Satomi is a medical intuitive and an intuitive empath. She is able to connect to your higher self. Nobody knows better what's going on in your subconscious mind than your higher self. And she's able to receive a message from your higher self and then give that back to you so you're able to work with it so you can correctly diagnose exactly what's going on. And then in step 2, it's all about a subconscious shift where we take that subconscious belief that's been holding you back, that's actually been disempowering you and preventing you from getting where you want, and it's actually bringing it on side. We can replace that program with one that empowers you, with one that takes you to where you want to go instead of getting in the way. There are a lot of different ways where you can achieve subconscious change. Most of them involve a lot of habit forming. It takes time and effort. There's nothing wrong with them, but that's why we like to use Psych-k in these sessions, because we can get a lot done in a very short period of time. Psych-k, you change it, one and done. And that brings us to step 3 of Sakaso. Step 1 is like finding the door. There's so many different directions you could go in order to solve the problem, right? Which is the right way to go in order to solve the problem? That's where we do the diagnostic reading. It's like finding the door you want to step through. And step 2, it's like opening the door. There you are. The door is open now. But step 3 is like stepping through the door. And this is stepping into a new self. Once you've opened up that door and you're looking at all this potential of a whole new you, you're going to step into a whole new world. That can be a little bit scary. And that's why you want to have Satomi and I around for ongoing support. And we have a little app you can use on your mobile device that will support you through that whole process and take full advantage of this opportunity that's been opened up in step 2. And that's where we draw upon all of our background as counselors, as life coaches, and a whole lifetime of studying life change process. And that's the Sakaso healing and transformation system. Your subconscious mind is limiting you until you remember your power and your grace. Until you reconnect with your authentic self through the Sakaso healing and transformation system. Do you remember that feeling of running through the sprinklers on a hot summer day? We'd love to hear about it in the comments below. That's the feeling we can all reconnect with.
And if you like this video, give it a thumbs up and share. We are really excited to share this video with you.
And you can take your first step today just by clicking the link in the description below and scheduling your life breakthrough session right now. And why not? It's completely free.
We're looking forward to seeing you soon. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.